Here on my YouTube channel, I've spent a lot of time making videos. Mostly my own videos, where the only deadline is whenever I get to it, and the only budget is the amount of coffee left in my mug. I never really thought about how long it actually took to make a video. Time was just a suggestion, like traffic laws and personal responsibility. But recently, I've taken on client work, and apparently, clients like to know stuff. Like, how long's the video gonna be? And why aren't you wearing any pants? And here's the honest truth. I had no idea, not even a little bit. You know that magical editing flow that you get into where the time just disappears and all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. and your cat is judging you? Yeah, that's me, every single time. And I don't even own a cat. Mix that with a healthy sprinkle of undiagnosed adult ADHD, and you've got one guy who couldn't tell you how long a video takes to save his life. That is, until my friends over at Timing, who are the sponsors of today's video, told me all about the Timing app. The Timing app is a handy app for macOS that keeps track of what you're actually doing on your computer. The apps, the documents, the websites, all of it. It organizes everything. It spots your patterns and even gives you quick summaries so you can finally see where all your time is really going. And since I know that most of my audience is using Final Cut Pro and also a Mac, I figured that this app might be super useful for you as well. One of my favorite features in the Timing app is the automatic time tracking. It's totally a set it and forget it kind of app. Most of the time, all you're ever going to see from the Timing app is this little indicator up here in the menu bar that tells you how much time has actually been tracked during the day. And if you click on it, it'll give you some quick access to commonly used features like showing your tracking results, which opens up the Timing app for quick access. You can also start a manual timer, which is handy if you're doing work for a client and you need to manually log time. You can also get quick access to start a timer for some of your projects that are in here. And then you can also pause timers, like pausing it until tomorrow, or you can pause it for a certain amount of time. By default, it's going to be set to launch automatically when you log in, so that anytime you open up the app, Timing's going to start tracking how long you're in that app and any specific features that you might be using in that app. Let's jump into the Timing app, and I'll show you how this app has helped me better understand where my time is going and how I can more accurately price videos for my clients. When you open up the app, you're going to see a few different tabs over here in the top left. First is the Activities tab, where you can view all the apps and websites you've used in a given time frame. And if you narrow it down to a single day, you'll get a timeline over here with AI-generated summaries that will explain what each activity was. But we'll circle back to this in a little bit. Next is the Stats tab, which is one of my favorites. It gives you a dashboard view of your productivity and shows you how your time was divided over the selected period. You'll get quick insights into how you're spending your time, plus you'll get a productivity score that helps you see how focused you've been. It's a really helpful visual way to understand where your time is going. And then there's the Reports tab, which lets you generate timesheets that break down your work. And you can also export those reports. This is perfect for client billing or just keeping track of your own records. And then finally, there's usually a Teams tab over here, which is designed for tracking time across the whole team. I've got this one hidden since I'm just working solo, but it's there if you need it. Now, up here at the top, we have a few different options. We have the option to create a new project, which we'll talk about in a second. We also have a new time entry. We can also start a new timer. And then over here, we're able to choose a time frame. We can either choose single days or we can choose actual frames of time over a period. So this would be your starting, this would be your ending, and then you would have kind of a range of time that you've selected up here. You also have the option to filter by devices, and then you can also filter by a wide variety of different filters that are in here. Now, down here on the left, you'll see that there's a space for projects. And honestly, this is where the real power of the Timing app kicks in. Its ability to organize projects and automatically categorize your time is the best I've used. They even include some sample projects that you could install if you want to see how it works, but personally, I just set up my own projects. When you create a project, you can build rules that automatically assign your time based on certain criteria. For example, here's my 5 transitions video project. This was a YouTube video that I made recently, and I wanted to know exactly how long it took me to create it. If I double click into it, you'll see that I've got rules set up that automatically log time whenever I'm in specific apps or working with certain file names or folders. You can set this up manually, or you can just drag activities into a project while holding the Option key. That not only adds them to the project, but also creates new rules as you go. Over time, the project gets smarter and more accurate at tracking the time you spend on it. Now, for example, I know that I spent a big chunk of time on Sunday, September 28th, working on this video. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the date to September 28th. And then if I jump over to the Activities tab here, I can see that the whole day is still unassigned. So now to fix that, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the apps that I know I was using for the project. I'm going to hold down the Option key, and I'm just going to drag that into the 5 Transitions video project. If I want more detail about what each activity was, then I can check out these super handy AI-generated summaries. They make it so much easier to remember what I was doing in the app, and they give me extra context for how the activity tied into the project that I'm working on. And then if I want to get even more detailed, I can dive into individual activities, and I can pull out only the details that are truly relevant. So in this case, I know that the 5 transitions I want, so I'm going to hold down Option, drag that into my project. I know that I wanted the sound effects, drag it into my project. And you can be very specific with specific details that are in the project. I don't want this intro video here because that's a separate project. That's my Emberdin internal project. So I know that everything else in here that I'm going to want. So I can hold down the Command key and then I can just select the remaining ones that I want here. And then I'll hold down Option and I'll drag all of those into the transitions video over here. And then I can just do the same thing with every other app here that I know was part of that project. So in this case, I know that Pixelmator Pro was part of that project. Going further down, I know that QuickTime Player was part of that project. And I believe that, I used the AIRD video enhancer also in that project. So I'm going to move that one over as well. And now you can see up here, I have my 5 transitions video, and this is all of the different apps and time that were associated to that specific project. Now, if we go back over here to the transitions video after I've added everything in, if I double click on that again, you can see that it's actually added to the rules here. So it's gone through and it's added the different applications that are actually relevant to this project. And so, like I said, as you add different applications and different websites and things like that to your projects, it's going to improve the rules for that project so that over time it becomes smarter, it becomes more able to track time that's relevant to that project for you. And now that I've tracked all of my time for this project, I can head over to the Stats tab and I can see exactly how much time I spent working on it. Now, this is obviously not the whole time because this is only the one day. So what I want to do is actually select a range of time where I know I worked on this project. So if I go back in here, I'm going to go from about the 24th all the way to the 30th, okay? And that's going to give me a range of time where I worked on this project. And so now I can actually see the overall results of time tracking for this project. And for me, knowing the total amount of time it takes to complete a video is really valuable. I also find it super helpful that it breaks down how long I spend in each app, so I can better understand all of the different parts that go into making a video. And that was a quick look at how the timing app helps me to keep track of my video projects. It's honestly been a game changer for helping me understand where my time goes, staying organized, and pricing my videos fairly for clients. If you're a video editor or you're just someone who wants to get a better handle on your time, this app is definitely worth checking out. If you're interested in the timing app, I've put a link in the description down below. And if you use my link, you'll get a 20% discount. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like the video. Also subscribe to the channel as that really helps out with that YouTube algorithm. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.